Hello everyone, Mako here, and after 7 months of not uploading a single video, I'm finally here because we have a new mechanic in Path of Exile 2, which was introduced with the Asynchronous Trade in Path of Exile 2 0.3, and it's called Trade Jumping. Okay, so let's dive right into it. But first we need to define two things for this to make sense, and those are the currency flipping mechanic and the asynchronous trade. In a game like Path of Exile, currency flipping refers to a practice of buying in-game currency items at a lower price and reselling them at a higher price to make a small profit. Okay, so this is done mostly with currency instead of other items, like gear for example, as it's way easier to trade commodities in bulk than specific unique individual pieces, which most of the time you need to do some extra crafting on top of it to actually generate profit. And with the later introduction of Faustus of the currency exchange in 3.25, I think, that choice was like forever sealed. Okay, and this was until the introduction of the asynchronous trade right now in Path of Exile 2 0.3 that launches tomorrow. So I'm not gonna make many jokes on this video, not much editing because I haven't decided on my build yet and I have less than 24 hours. So the asynchronous trade, for anyone who doesn't know, refers to a trading system where players do not need to be online or interact with other players in real time to complete a trade. You just list your item, it goes into this box, and you can buy items from people who are not online, who are traveling, who are fucking their wife or something like that. Good? Okay? Perfect. Also, something very important that nobody mentioned so far is that whenever you did a trade before, you will always get a party invite, which meant leaving your current party if you have one, and that was quite annoying to be honest, and this is something of the past. Great. With this new mechanic, you will search for the item on the market that is now introduced in-game. Thank fucking God. You will search for the item, you click a button, and you are instantly teleported to their hideout. And you will directly see the trading tab open and your item is highlighted ready to pick up. But that's not all. You are also able to see and purchase any other listed item. And remember, Path of Exile is a game where knowledge is power in the most literal sense, where knowing the distinctions between prices for certain items and knowing the mods and what you can do with an item, how to craft it, how to improve its stats and so on, will give you a significantly advantage over any other player. I would even say that the difference between a player who is playing Path of Exile for 8 years but doesn't know too much some mechanics and a high-level knowledgeable person, maybe a streamer who spent like thousands of hours per couple of months, I think that the difference between those people is larger than new players who have been playing Path of Exile for 2-3 weeks and those players who are playing Path of Exile for 8 years. I think that the knowledge gap is insane. And with this new mechanic, you will actually have a lot of opportunities to make money. And here is where market jumping actually comes in. I expect most players, if not all of them, to simply search for their desired item, take it from the trading tab, and then do like a quick glance at whatever else is listed. However, and this is the most important part of the video and the most important part of this strategy, a very small minority of knowledgeable players, and I repeat, very knowledgeable players, are going to do the following. They are going to open the trade website and think about common mistakes that rookie and new players make in their first 8 years of Path of Exile. A missed opportunity to craft live on an open prefix to push the item value a little bit more, maybe an item with a mod that is very niche but highly desirable for specific builds, which is usually very hard to price check if you don't know what you are looking for. Perhaps someone listed a crafting project, which is very common, halfway done, because they don't know some mechanics, they don't know how to keep improving the item or finish it. Maybe some knowledgeable player is gonna say like, okay, I can just influence exalt this item and I'm gonna get this for guaranteed, this mod guaranteed. So they're gonna buy that item and then continue the crafting. Who knows? But what they will be looking for is not the items themselves, but the players who underprice them, because they are most likely to have other items underpriced as well. So it's like a noob hunting on the horizon, and it's open season. So let me give you an example that even new players can take advantage of. And we're gonna search for boots, okay? Any gear could be, but let's search for boots. Any non-unique, and then we will search for mods that we want in a boot, which will be, for example, movement speed at 30%, and some resistances. We will search for total resistances. Total resistance 90, because that are two good rolls. And we want, for example, life, okay? We want 50 life, at least. So if we search for an item like this, you will see that 10 chaos, 10 chaos, 15 chaos, 20 chaos, and when you see something like this, obviously this late on the league, it doesn't matter, but probably the first 1, 2, 3 listings are not gonna respond, but maybe the fourth one it will. So this item is probably worth 15 to 20 chaos, right? But what if we search for an item that can have life, but it doesn't have it? So we want an item that do not has life. So we will search for life. We search for maximum life and not this one, because this one will take into account attributes, strength. And we're gonna search for an empty prefix, because in Path of Exile 1 you can craft a life roll on an empty prefix. In Path of Exile 2 it could be maybe an Exalt Slam with a chance to get life. I honestly want more options in Path of Exile 2 soon regarding to crafting, but this could be the case. So now if we search for this one, you will see that you can buy one for 5, maybe the first 2 won't sell, I don't know, but maybe 10 chaos, right? 10 chaos, 10 chaos, 10 chaos, there's a million for 10 chaos. So now you will find the same boot for maybe 5 chaos less or 10 chaos less. And when you are talking about a 20 chaos item that you can make yourself for 5 to 10 chaos, that's very profitable, at least at the beginning. Or maybe you're a new player and you just feel an accomplishment for saying, wow, I didn't bought that item, I made it myself and I save a little bit of money. Now, take this example to the extreme. I'm 100% sure that some people who know this game so much and know how to craft these insane mirror tier items are gonna search for very specific mods. Maybe they know that a Warlord Exalt will guarantee a certain mod that will skyrocket the price of the item 5 times, right? And this is the important part. You are not targeting these items. You are targeting the person who is listing them. Because if these people sell something underpriced, it's probably because either they are in a rush, or they don't care, they have too much money, or they don't know what the true value of the item is. So potentially, they could have other items listed as well, very cheap. So once you find your candidate, you will simply use the new mechanic, right? And you will trade jump. So you will search for the player, in this case it could be I love Lutzi, and you will teleport directly to his hideout. You don't buy the item, unless you want to, obviously, but you will search the trading window. And if you don't find anything else, you just go to the next victim, right? I hope that GGG makes a change so we cannot buy items on the trading window before we buy the actual item that we came for. I hope that that is the case, because if not, people are just gonna search for these persons and they're gonna be jumping from one hideout to another searching for potential underpriced item to then resell. So you can actually play Path of Exile and make a lot of profit without moving from your hideout. This was possible in Path of Exile 1, but it will involve a million whispers, people waiting on their maps. It will take forever. But now with this new mechanic where you are instantly teleported to their hideout to see all the items. You can just teleport, see the items, not profit here, teleport, see the items, not profit here. And I expect to see a lot of people in my hideout and in your hideout, coming to your hideout, see whatever is there and leave it without buying anything. I hope that I'm wrong and I'm not gonna see 10, 20, 30 people coming to the hideout constantly like bots, searching for my items and not buying anything. So this new mechanic, this new asynchronous trade is gonna have a lot of issues. There's one that was shared by Sirgol in one of the podcasts that I'm gonna show you right now, which is insane.
I'll give an example of something that would only apply in Path of Exile 1. Let's say the Doctor is valuable in a league. Like, let's say it's a Headhunter friendly league and the Headhunter is 64 divines. And this is in Path of Exile 1 only. You would place in one Doctor card at 8 divines. And then immediately to the right, you would place a Nurse card at 8 divines. What happens when someone goes to your, your regex window and types Doctor in there? Oh, it highlights both of them. So you control click the Doctor card and then you control click the Nurse card as well. And then you realize, oh, I just paid 8 divines for a Nurse.
So I'm gonna leave you with this. This season will be full of experiences, both good and bad, and I'm all for it. In some way, this kind of scammy, testy trading new system that I'm super in love with, it reminds me of wonky, old school trading from ARPGs and MMOs back in the day, like 20 years ago. Yes, I'm old, but this gives me some nostalgic vibes, and I really, really want to see how this goes. Also, am I back into making videos? I don't know. I have a few ideas on how to improve the mapping experience, but if I make something like that to share with you, I will take the time to actually make the interface, the user experience, and show you exactly how it will look. And for all of you that stayed until the end, I want to give you a quick tip for this new launch. Don't follow guides where the creator is telling you that this is absolutely broken, this is 100% safe, there's no issues with this, they know everything about this class. We are not talking about Pogs playing Righteous Fire in Path of Exile 1, okay? The meta shift in Path of Exile 2 in this patch is insane. Supports all have changed, ascendancies changed, the passive skill tree is not completely reworked, but there's 100 and I don't know how many new notables and passive points. So the shakeup is really, really big. So don't trust anyone making promise of things that they cannot promise, okay? Extra careful, try to follow guides that are easy and tested, okay? So good luck, thank you for coming, and as always, ciao, un abrazo.